Right, what's going on, team? So this is a super chilled video. I'm not going to even act like this wasn't edited because I have loads of notes that are on my phone there. So if I keep on cutting out, jumping back to the screen, that is what's going down. This video is going to be how to be efficient and how to actually get good on these machines. Now, not just the ski, we're talking concept bike, we are talking road machine, but basically, and assault bike. All of the things that I've sort of learned over the last few years on how to get good on these machines. When I first started training like more functional fitness, when I first started going to a CrossFit gym and stuff like that, I used to do what you probably do if you're watching this video for a little bit of advice. Go balls to the wall first round, smash out loads of calories, and then absolutely die. And not really knowing how to pace myself, not knowing how to be efficient with technique. And the last couple of years I've seemed to get quite good. And I would say one of my jams is Erg Machines. I seem to be quite good at that compared to like other stuff in other realms. That is what I need to work on in my game. But yeah, we're going to go through a few different things. I'm going to explain what the screen means, damper levels and stuff like that, and just try and hopefully give you a few quick tips. Right, so we're going to use the ski here to check out the screen and basically go through a few little things. Okay, let's roll with it. So essentially, the rower and the ski are very similar, but the Concept 2 bike is per 1,000 meters. So if you come and have a look at this screen here, okay, I'm going to change the units here, and you're going to see this big number here. So what this is per 500 meters, this is the amount of time at this stroke rate. This literally just me moving my hand here. That's how long it would take you to hit 500 meters. So obviously, Joe, if you move back for a second, as I go a little bit quicker, the number is going to go down. And so on and so on. So that was dropping down to a 2-minute pace here. So essentially, going through the screen, this is your pace per 500 meters. This is your stroke rate per minute, okay? This is obviously the meters that I traveled just there and those few strokes, which is meters here. Then this is similar to the 500 meter one here, but the only difference is, for example, if you had if you'd skied 2,000 meters, this would give you the last 500 meter pace, but this would give you the total across 2,000 meters and what your average was across the full workout, okay? And if you traveled for 30 minutes at that, so I'll just pull that so the light goes back on. If you traveled at 30 minutes at that exact pace, you would total 2,836 meters in 30 minutes, right? So there is your little, I'm just giving you the outline first. Now, when it comes to looking at numbers on the screen, what you want to try and find is a pace that you are comfortable with, okay? So you want to look at the screen, find something as a marker, so whether it be the meters here, or whether it be calories, which we're going to go through next, and try and find something that you are comfortable with for the desired goal of that workout. So whether it be short or whether it be long, okay? So long could be anything, I'd say like 12, 15 minutes plus, all the way to 40 minutes, 60 minutes. Short workout could be anything from like 12 minutes or even under, all the way to a 30-second sprint. But whatever it is, it has to be you have to pace yourself relative to the workout, okay? So this is essentially your best friend when you are doing a workout, because it gives you and provides the information that you can obviously process and be like, right, can I do this or can I not? So the second thing to look at here, and sometimes what we use in class, and you'll find that I use this on EMOMs all the time, is calories. So these are the calories that have traveled there. This is the calories per hour. So obviously, as you speed this up, go a little bit quicker, that number is going to go up, yeah? And that will coincide with here, okay? So essentially, when we're on a class, we will quite a lot of the time program every minute on the minute. It could be like 3 different exercises for 15 minutes. Might be dumbbell squats, might be push-ups, and the third one could be calories. And that would be like 15 for males, 12 for females on the minute. Now, the reason I'm giving you all this information is because once you start knowing this, you can understand how to pace yourself for workouts. So the first example that I'm going to give you is calories, okay? This one here, I could perhaps know that if I have to do 1,500 calories, if I have to do 15 calories per minute, every minute on the minute, I might want to hold a 1,200 calorie per hour pace. Now, this is something that I personally I'm comfortable with holding, where I can do that for 45 seconds. I know that it would hit 15 calories on about 45 seconds, and I'll have enough recovery time to relax and move on and be ready to go on to dumbbell squats or whatever the next exercise is, whatever the next movement is. However, if I hit 2,000 calories per hour, which is great, and that's fine because the calories will go super, super quick, but that will put me at a sky high heart rate, and then I'll probably crash and burn because I can only hold that pace, above that pace, for maybe 20, 30 seconds tops, okay? So one thing that you can look at, and I try to get people in school to look at quite a lot when we're doing EMOMs, is the calorie per hour mark. And I will say, look, like, Joe, I know that you are going to try and hit 12 calories on this EMOM every minute on the minute. If you try and hit 1,100 calories per hour and keep it at that pace, so keep stroking the movement every time to manage that pace, you will hit it in about 40 seconds and you'll be fine, okay? So you're not burning out, but at the same time, if I look at that and someone's really, really slow, they're on 700, maybe dropping down to 500 calories per hour, I will tell them to pick up the pace, okay? Does that make sense? Right, so we're just getting this started again. Now, very similar to that last clip, we're going to talk about the meters. Okay, so like I was saying before, the meterage is per 500 meters here. And obviously, if we have a goal in a workout, it might be, let's use an EMOM for example again. Sometimes we might program 250 meters for males and 200 meters for females. And that would be a realistic goal for an every minute on the minute circuit. Let's say it's a 10-minute EMOM and it is 15 barbell thrusters and 250 meter ski. I can go to the individual that's in the class and be like, right, I want you to hold a I want you to hold a 145 per 500 meter pace. And what that will probably, you can pretty much guarantee, because I know that and I'm experienced in this, that would get them to finish 250 meters in about 40 to 45 seconds, and it would give them 15 to 20 seconds of recovery time before getting ready to go on the thrusters. So this again, if a person is getting used to coming to school, if a person is getting used to being in a functional gym, training themselves, whatever they're doing, what you can start looking at is being like, right, that last minute, I really struggled, I didn't have enough time. It's because I was holding a 2-minute pace per 500 meters. So what I need to do in the next one is probably drop it down to 150 and see if I have enough time to rest before the thrusters. And you start getting all of these little numbers in your head for your personal ability, and you start understanding, right, what am I capable of? How should I pace this, depending on what the goal is? So for example, on an EMOM, where it is every minute on the minute, that might be a little bit faster. But if I said to someone, right, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a 2,000 meter ski or a 2,000 meter run, a 2,000 meter row, just like a run, you'd probably likely pace yourself a little bit more, okay? So it's all about using these numbers, using this information to try and think and start processing things in your head to make your workout more efficient. Now, when it comes to these machines and doing any sort of workouts, what I found was a big game changer for me, because I came from sort of a bodybuilding, more explosive rugby background, where it's quite stop-starty. It's quite sprint and then recover for a long period of time, sprint and then recover for a long period of time, which is great. But sometimes that's tapping into your anaerobic threshold. That's like your really, really top end 90% effort work. Ooh, little fly. Really, really high heart rate, and it's super intense, okay, which is great. And if you can recover from that, this is very important to train. But also being in that sort of 60 to 80% effort range and trying to be comfortable and more comfortable for long periods of time, being more efficient with your recovery, that allows you to train for longer, train harder, and all of those things. It helps you in the workouts that are a little bit longer. They're not just 5 minutes, they're not just 10-minute finishers, they're maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes, okay? And one thing that I found with this was trying to give yourself realistic goals to pace yourself with. So I'm gonna give you a workout in a second that you can take away, and I'm gonna give you and list it here. But one of the most simple ones in the book is doing the 10 by 500 meters on whatever you want to get better at, whether it be the ski, whether it be the row, whether it be the bike, but it would be 10 by 1,000 meters. What you can start doing is try it 1 week, and all I want you to do is whatever pace, doesn't matter if it's the slowest, if it feels like you're not really working that hard at all, try and just get the same meterage and the same time per 500 meters for every single split. Okay, so say it takes you 2 minutes each time to do 500 meters on the ski. Okay, you have exactly 1 minute rest in between each bout. Okay, and then after that, the following week, you drop it down to 157. So you knock 3 seconds off each split and trying to make every single one of the 10 intervals exactly the same. Then the next week, you drop down 156, you might only shave another second off. But once you start doing this, it allows you to, one, get really, really good at pacing yourself, getting good at pacing yourself in workouts, knowing how quick you can go for a sort of a relatively like short distance, but something that could realistically be in classes, could be around the gym. It's about anywhere from 1.5 to 2 minutes, 500 meters, and you start understanding all these things. And also, to be quite honest, it will just massively build your engine and your aerobic fitness levels. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is all about the damper. Right, so let's talk about the damper. Now, the damper is this little thing that is on pretty much all the machines, which essentially gives you a different sort of resistance on the ergs, but also will affect how many calories is turning over and so on and so on. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I am not an expert on this. I find out things all the time and get different advice from different people depending on athletes, whether I see it on Instagram, whether I see people who just recommend things, but I am by no means an expert. I'm just gonna give you a few little tips that I found out along the way, because I used to come in and I used to think, wow, I'm massive 10, and that was always the case. And we'll find that quite a lot of the time in classes, everyone does that, okay? They think, oh, if I get it on 10, the calories will go faster, which is the case, kind of, but also not at the same time. Now, the best tip that someone gave me was essentially, the higher the resistance is on the machine, it will make it more of a muscular exercise, as in it will make it feel more like a workout where you are building for hypertrophy, okay? Now, this person gave me some real good advice because I came from a bodybuilding background, okay? The lower you go, the less resistance it will be, the less muscular it will be, but the more aerobic it will be. So when you are looking at a workout, you've got to think, right, if you are doing a workout that is, and think about when you do a set of squats, right, you've only really like ever squatting maybe 50 air squats if it's air squats, but you're only squatting maybe 10 to 20 reps if it's loaded. So if you bang the resistance up really, really high and you have a super long workout, it's probably not likely that you can withstand that pace all the way through like a long workout. So what you need to ask yourself is essentially a few different questions. If I'm looking at a workout and it is goblet squats or it's thrusters and it's paired with the bike, I know my quads are going to be fired up off that bike. So I might have the damper a little bit lower and try and make my legs spin faster with a little bit less resistance, so that when I come off the bike, my quads aren't fried. My lungs might be fried because I've actually worked really hard and I've made it aerobic, but my quads aren't really fried, so I can go straight on a dumbbell thrusters, which is a quite quad dominant movement, okay? Whereas like, if it was with the ski, I might actually be able to go a little bit higher on the resistance, because really it's a little bit more lats, a little bit more triceps, because if that was going on to thrusters next, I'm not really using the same muscle groups. Does that make sense? So that's one thing that I've obviously always heard. Now, another thing is trying to think about if you have a short, sharp distance. So like if it was like 20 calories for time and it's in a workout and like you might be pumped up and you might be like training with people, you might perhaps be in one of our classes and it might be a finisher. It could be, I don't know, like anything that has a 20 cal finisher. You might want to crank that up and just go for it, because you know it's only 20 calories. You can withstand the pressure, you're going to kill it, okay? You can fly that up and just bang it out. Whereas if it is a longer piece where perhaps it's a chipper, maybe you know you're going to be on this like for 4 or 5 minutes tops because it's like 100 calories or it's 2,000 meters or it's anything like that, you might want to have the damper a little bit lower, make it a bit more aerobic, so you are going to start elevating your heart rate and you're going to start gassing your system and having to withstand that aerobic pressure, but you're not going to burn out your actual muscles and put them under too much muscular fatigue. Now, I've went crazy sort of sciencey on that, and to be quite honest, there is still way more experts than me out there on this, but that is my general beginner sort of level of like what you should be doing and what you should be thinking about when you're coming on machines. and yeah, pretty much trying to learn how to pace yourself. One of the best and one of the biggest game changers that I had when I started doing all this was learning not to just go out too hot and trying to bring it back and try and include negative splits. Now, this is the last thing that I'm going to go on about. Negative splits are essentially you trying to, if you had like 10 rounds of something, your first round would be your first split, and then your second round should be gradually quicker, and your third round should be gradually quicker than that. And you are creating negative splits all the way through a workout. Now, when I started trying to train this and trying to do this and implement it during workouts, this was an absolute game changer because it found me and allowed me to understand pacing more, to actually consciously hold back until it gets gradually at the end of the workout, and then you can pull the pin and go for it, okay? So I've rattled on there. I hope the video was helpful. I hope you can take something away from it. And apart from that, I might, in the description box here or something like that, try and give you a couple of extra workouts, maybe put them on the screen on this outro, and give you some stuff to try. I have an assault bike one, which I really love, which doesn't quite fit the same meterage as the skiers and the rowers, but it's still something that you should try and do, okay? So I'll put them on there. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone that needs some help with ergs, with assault bikes and all of that. And apart from that, I will see you in the next video.